Now, I done been watching Baddies since its very first season, and this is the first time Zeus done fed y'all. And this is what y'all do? Dolly is not gonna rest until she and her big three are the only three girls standing, and it's so tiring. Fauna standing on business, Lex kind of quiet. I don't know what's going on, but is y'all ready to talk about it? Let's juice.
Come on, Blazer.
It's a beef for me.
Wow, 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 for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Voodoo Doll TV, bake with a quick little jokes or whatever the case may be. And girl, we over here playing with this Baddies girl, Baddies Africa. Girl, what happened to Summer? That's the first question I got. I was on Twitter, but I ain't looked long enough to really find nothing. But somebody dropped down in the comments, what happened with Summer and the security guard, girl? Now, I will say I did peep something in the episode when the girls were getting on the bus to go to the club. I heard Summer say, you know what happened to the last security guard? And it kind of missed me the first time I heard it. But then I went back and rewatched it, and I noticed she was actually talking to a person, and she actually said his name, and it was AD. Y'all, check out this clip right quick.
You know what happened to the last security guard, AD, X Big Lex? You know what happened to the last security guard, AD, X Big Lex? You know what happened to the last security guard, AD, X Big Lex?
Then it was crazy because right after the club scene, they put this up and it says, later that night outside the venue, Summer was involved in an altercation with a member of Zoo Security. She was unavailable to participate for the next few episodes. Now, girl, hold on. Now, this the boy right here. That's the boy she said, AD, who she was talking to when she said, you don't know what happened to the last security guard. Now, who is this man? What other relationship does him and Summer have other than Baddies? Because this sounds personal. And what had happened? What happened where she couldn't come back around for the next few episodes? Girl, you think he knocked her head between the washing machine and dryer? Girl, I don't know. Whatever going on, Summer girl. I hope you doing all right and just be strong, my girl. Be strong, girl. Ooh, Lord. But anyway, other than the Summer mystery, because that's a mystery for me. Y'all might know already, but it's a mystery for me within itself. Other than the Summer mystery, we had a whole bunch of stuff going on at the house. Dolly fighting these girls, Fauna, Skrilla, and the other girl, K. Rican. And it's just like, girl, why? Lex going back and forth with Fauna. Even Pretty P had to give it up and say Fauna could fight. It's just too much going on. But the fights keep happening. Natalie's loving this, but acting like she's not. And I'm starting to notice Natalie is away from the set and allowing the so-called quote-unquote den mothers to actually be in charge of the house. So DTB and obviously Rolly, those are the girls who are in charge of the girls and who are dealing with the girls, sleeping with the girls, living with them. And Natalie only have to come in for a club scene or maybe a fight scene, then go home. Very, very smart. Very, very smart. But either way, I'm noticing that she's utilizing these girls more than anybody. And if that's the case, then Natalie, you can just phase the black altogether. Neither here nor there. This scene you see right here is from the brunch. There was a brunch that was had. It was a lot that went on in the club. Dolly done snatched the microphone from K. Rican. K. Rican didn't do nothing out of respect for how the rules go. And then boom, 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 here we are. Some of them got snatched up by the it clown or something. I don't know where she at. Girl, it's beefs and battles, battles and beefs. And I'm tired of all of these girls. But either way, I'm tuned in. So y'all do me a favor. Grab your things. We gonna get right on into this episode. It was too much happening at one time, so we just gonna break it down as it come. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, please go ahead and subscribe. I promise you, you won't regret it. And also, don't forget to drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts about this episode. So do me a favor, grab your things, your earrings, your earbuds. Did I say earrings, girl? It don't even matter. Grab your things and let's just run right on into the episode, girl. So now the episode opens up where we left off. Apparently, Fauna and Big Lex was getting a round, and I don't know why Dolly and Summer decided to jump in. It was so pointless, so stupid. One thing Diamond the Body said in the confessional that made sense, they want to jump in for Lex in this fight with this little bitty girl, but nobody jumped in when she was fighting Ivory, and that's a Fendi fact. I thought that this was lame of them. All that big three stuff, like grow up. Y'all jumping in fights that's unnecessary. Now y'all got all this big crazy beef going on for no reason. And it's really getting tiring at this point. It really is. Like, Dolly didn't have to do that. I promise you, Lex didn't need your help, nor Summers. But y'all have become the bullies and mean girls that y'all claim y'all was fighting against last year. As a matter of fact, y'all probably worse than them. And that's y'all downfall as a quote-unquote big three altogether. That's why nobody respect y'all and don't nobody care about it but y'all. You see what I'm saying? And doggone Ivory over there talking about they done threw noodles. Who had noodles? But either way, Lex still want her around, and Natalie sitting in the corner comfortable with security, watching the whole thing. Production, cameras, are you getting it? Directors, pass me my vape. She's just loving it. You know what I mean? This is all money for Natalie. Every lick her mind is going cha-ching, cha-ching. You get it? And you know, I meant to comment on your confessional look a few episodes ago, but since you here, let's talk about it. Now, I know you came in talking about how everybody was fighting, but I want to come in and talk about who dressed you. Girl, you look like a reject from the Supremes, the auditions. Girl, you look a mess, Rolly. And then you let them people put that stuff on you on your cheeks. Girl, you look like you auditioning to play Effie in Dreamgirls, but at the bottom of the barrel of the cast. Like, you look a mess. You look older. You look elderly. You look matronly. That's what you look. Very matronly. Like, whoever put this on you, fire them immediately. I don't like anything about this. I know they wanted to give us glam, but it really just give us ham. Rolly, you look so bad. I don't remember what she said. Get off of here, Rolly. Roll around. So now this is how I know Fauna could really fight. Because Lex is still trying to get back at Fauna. The last time I seen this type of vigor in Lex when she fought somebody was Ivory. I ain't gonna lie. So this is how I know Fauna was actually holding her own. Probably much more than Lex thought she would. And Lex is trying to get at her. But Fauna over in the corner, because Fauna feel like, man, you know, they jumping. And she's right. They claim that we not supposed to jump. We following the rules. They not. Isn't this the same story from last season? You feel what I'm saying? I'm telling you, Dolly and them literally became the girls that they fought last year. I promise you. I mean, take Summer, for example. Summer over here talking about, yeah, me and my bitches, we did it, and we always come out on top as usual. It's just like, y'all are just here to fight. That's it. You're just here to find another group of girls y'all can fight. And that to me is bullying to me. I don't know. And look at Natalie. You guys, we have to stop. You guys, pass me my vape. We have to stop. We have to go to a club, you guys. And we can't fight at the club. Oh my God. Pass me my vape. We gotta go, guys. You guys, please stop it. I'm the CEO. And then as soon as she said that, Dolly had came around the corner and popped somebody else. I think that was Skrilla, K-Reek, and Fauna. I don't know. All I know is the poppin' went the poppin', girl. Dolly had them pop somebody else. A whole nother fight done popped off. And I'm over here saying, Natalie, shut up so we can watch the fight. We can't hear. We can't hear the fight with her over there screaming at the bottom of her voice. You feel what I'm saying? And so once they broke them up, these girls are no more good. Now they really want to smoke with the other two girls or the other three girls. And I'm over here saying, Dolly, you really didn't have to jump in that fight and you really shouldn't have. And the fact that you jumped in, that was lame. That was lame. And your attitude, your head getting big. It's getting real big. I'm paying attention to you, girl. But either way, Natalie picking up wigs off the floor. Mind you, these girls got to get to the club in 30 minutes. You know, ain't nobody taking no baths. But I mean, welcome to Baddies. Nobody takes a bath. I mean, look a Rolly, big fat funk and nasty. You get it. You know what I mean? Neither here nor there. Now, Skrilla feels some type of way. Skrilla off to the side because Skrilla getting in the paint, but Skrilla feel like all that jumping is lame. And basically, these girls are breaking all the rules, just like some of them did last season. And she's right, Skrilla. But one thing about Skrilla said this just activating her. This just turning her up. She ain't really doing no tripping. They think that they just picking on her, but she know that she the one. That's why they picking on her and her friends or whatever the case may be. So Scotty and Natalie go over to Fauna and Skrilla to talk to them because Scotty was like, yo, we want to get to know you. And then Natalie was over there talking to them and they were telling Natalie like, yo, they keep jumping, they sneaking, they doing all this stuff. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And Natalie was like, you know what, you guys, I got vapes for everybody. I got 2 for you. Yeah, I thought about it and you're right. I'm going to have to figure something out because this is not okay. I like you guys. Now, mind you, Natalie is still telling the girls that it's cool that we fight in the house. Y'all can go all day long if you want to, but we on our way to a booking. This is Africa. We not trying to mess this up. Once we get in the club, nobody could fight. Nobody could fight. And Skrilla is listening, but Skrilla understands, because she from the streets, that, yeah, it could go down anywhere, so just keep your head on a swivel. But at the end of the day, Natalie setting these girls up for failure, because you know how the other girls is. Now, Diamond the Body pulls Natalie to the side or the other way around, I don't know. And they start talking about all these fights. And Diamond was like, yeah, it's just messed up that them 3 keep jumping. Like, they got to stop that. That's not cool. It's against the rules. And they keep doing it, getting away with it. And Natalie was like, I know everybody's telling me that I got to do something about it. But Diamond was like, yeah, no, we really have to do something about it. She said, because basically they lame. They want to jump in when Lex, big Lex of all people who can handle anybody in the house, they want to jump in her fight when she fighting Lil Bitty Fauna, but where was they antennas when she was fighting Ivory? And I was like, touche. When she's right, she's right. And that goes to show how they picks and choose. But all of these girls on this show have picks and chooses. Well, most of them, not all of them. But for the most part, they all got picks and chooses. You know what I'm saying? But Diamond made a very good point, and it's just lame at that point that they even jumping at all. So Natalie was over there trying to help Ivory comb noodles out of her hair because she said somebody threw noodles in her hair. And Pretty P walked over and was like, girl, that girl Fana could fight. But she didn't call her Fana, she called her Fania. And it was like, girl, we seen her. And she said, let me get her name right, girl, because I seen her fight, girl. She know how to fight. I said, well, then if she's saying it, the girl must really could fight. And that would explain why Lex continued to want to fight. There you go. Makes sense. Now, the girls on the Sprinter on the way to the club, nobody showered, so it's very musty at this point. But the mustiest one of all, Rolly decides to hold her arms up because she bought a friend, and his name is Don Julio. So all the girls are excited. They close their nostrils temporarily to give out a hip hip hooray because they all wanted a shot, right? So now Rolly turns to LCK and Russian Cream and asked them how their experience being baddies is so far. And they both agreed that it's lit. It's everything they thought it was going to be. They was like, we've been fighting every day. It just kind of is what we expected it to be. You know what I mean? So everybody's okay with that. Now, on the other bus with Scotty, Scotty's talking to the girls and she's like, listen, I know all y'all can fight, but y'all are some really pretty girls. She was like, I'm a non-confrontational person. I really don't like chaos and all that fighting and stuff. She was like, and I think that y'all are so pretty. Y'all can do so much more. So Scotty is basically playing the role of the nigga at the strip club trying to talk the stripper off the pole. You feel what I'm saying? But these girls are baddies. They don't care about none of that. They just trying to get outside and fight. You feel what I'm saying? Scotty, you in the wrong place. You feel me? So Skrilla went to talking about how they keep fighting her and they don't realize they activating her and her friends. She glad she hooked up with the girl she hooked up with because they some real ones and whatever the case may be. And Scotty over there talking about, but you're so pretty, man. God, you guys need to stop fighting. Girl, Scotty, go lay down. So now Rolly turns around and asks Russian Cream and the rest of the girls how they feel about the rest of these girls. If they feel like they done fought and they can move on, or do they think this gonna be an ongoing beef. And these girls was like, listen, we don't want beef, but if it's up, it's up. These girls, if they want to keep fighting, we just gonna keep fighting. Russian Cream said at this point, everybody in the house done had a fight, girl. Like, what's the big deal? So now Russian Cream asked the rest of the girls on the bus if they were around for the fight with LCK and if she got jumped. And everybody got quiet. I didn't see her get jumped. I really didn't. But maybe that's why they quiet. Either way, then she starts to talk about how last night she went up to Skrilla and was like, yo, did y'all jump LCK? She said she basically told Skrilla she don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? She don't rock like that. And that if y'all did that, y'all down bad. She said, and Skrilla was like, no, that didn't happen. Then she said Fana stood up and jumped in it when it had nothing to do with her. So her and Fana ended up fighting and it was what it was. Now with LCK, she decided to not only frighten us, but give us her idea of what happened. And basically she said she didn't want to seem like she was sneaking nobody. That's why she went up to her straight up and was like, so what you want to do? What's up? What's up? What's up? She was like, and old girl kept hollering that she was tired or whatever the case may be. And Rolly told her straight up, look, you got two girls right here that's riding for you, that was ready to ride for you. You ought to be thankful for that and just be, worried about that. And she was like, I'm thankful for the girls or whatever. But is it me or the foreigner girls coming on really making a wave on this Baddies? Shout out to my foreigner girls, to my Caribbean gals. Shout out to y'all, girl. Now, on the flip side, on the other bus, Natalie over there telling the other girls, Fana, Skrilla, and K-Reekin and them, well, not K-Reekin because she not on this bus, but she telling them this is a sisterhood. When we go out, we don't fight. Anything we got to deal with, we deal with in-house. So now it's two different conversations happening, and this is going to lead to fight miscommunication, okay? And I get it. Scotty want to take on more of a mentor role, you know what I mean? But girl, this ain't the show or the girls. Come on now. So now the girls arrived to the club, and I ain't gonna lie, this little club out in South Africa, what was it called? Something with a Z. It looked kind of lit. The people was outside. They had the bottles going. And I'm starting to see a trend that a lot of clubs around the world model their club scenes after American club scenes, which is kind of dope. But yeah, a lot of clubs, they literally mirror the club scene around our clubs. And a lot of those clubs play a lot of hip hop when you go out of town and you go to different countries and stuff like that. But either way, they in the club, it's Lemmy's birthday, and Natalie decides to introduce all the girls. Well, all the ones except the new girls. Fana felt some type of way about that. Fana hopped in the confessional, was like, bruh, like, we all here to support. We all baddies. Like, how you gonna tell us we all on one level, but then we up in here now in the club and you only talking about the new girls? She might have forgot y'all name. It's so many girls. Who, you know what I mean? Who knows? That could be it. But either way, yeah, she wrong for that. She is. Now, while the girls are in the club, Anna Mac pulls up outside and I'm over here saying, okay, so she not as slow as I thought she was. Still slow though. So she didn't come out there for one day turnaround trip to say that she's not going to be on Baddies because she's going to periodically pop up throughout the whole season. Got it. So she's coming into the show and we already know Diamond the Body probably invited her. So in the club, Natalie sees her walk in and Natalie literally drops her vape. And you know that's a big deal for Natalie. She was like, oh my God, production, directors, get me another vape. Why is Anna in the club? OMG. Oh my God. But she can't really focus on it too much because Anna Mac is cool with a lot of girls. So Rolly go over there and say, hey. Diamond the Body go over there and say, hey. And Rolly basically saying she hope whatever Anna and Natalie got going on, that they fix it because she in love with both of them or something like that, girl. I don't know. Whatever. So then Diamond the Body hopped in the confessional and was like, my girl was already in Africa. She is a baddie. It's Lemmy's birthday. That's her CEO like he our CEO. So I invited her out to the club and I'm over here saying, girl, you know Natalie gonna want to ring your vape. Do you hear me? Why would you invite Anna Mac to the club? And why is she lingering around in them people continent? Girl, get off them people continent, Anna Mac. And, you know, obviously Natalie doesn't find this appealing. She thinks that this is disgusting. She doesn't know why Diamond the Body would even invite Anna to this thing. She also don't know why Anna would even come. She says she's a CEO and nobody's respecting her gangster. But she gonna talk to Diamond the Body later on about this because Anna Mac can't be showing up because she is not on Baddies Africa. Okay, girl. Anyway, so now Natalie decides to gift Zeus Diddy with a lightning bolt chain, and they decided to gift us with the horrible sounds of their new song off Boosie's song Independent. And I want to know who cleared the sample. It sounds so bad. Natalie sounds like a valley girl who hang around black people, and he sounds like a fake Fabulous if he used to smoke pipes and crack and whatnot. It was horrible. It look a rolly. Oh, they got a song together when they started doing a song together. I didn't know they did a song together. Shut up, Rolly. You should have warned us. But then again, you ain't warned us with your music, so it makes sense. So I heard you about to quit, girl. Oh, you quit. What's going on? You quit? What you gonna do with the rest of your life? Girl, that's what they said. I didn't say it. Moving on. So now, what's this girl named Scotty with a highlighter body decides that it's time to call Natalie and bury the hatchet. Because not only is Natalie her very first scissor buddy, it's kind of awkward at meetings just knowing, the history and things of that nature. So she decides to FaceTime Natalie to see if they can have a conversation. And of course, Natalie don't want to hear none of that ugly ass girl. So Natalie hops in the confessional, was like, oh my God, I just had my vape. And here comes Scotty calling me. I'm so over her. Oh my God. So anyway, on the phone, Scotty basically tells Natalie that she think they need to have a conversation because she tired of them beefing and she kind of want to get to a place where they could at least be cordial or at least get back to whatever friendship she thought they had. Natalie responded with, I guess I'll talk to you. Do you have more vapes at your house? Because I'll ask for plenty at the meeting. So make sure you bring your vapes. But yes, I'll meet with you, Scotty. Even though we have a lot to talk about, we can discuss it. And Scotty's just so cheese. Look at her. Girl, bye. Now, LCK and Russian Cream are in the room. This the next morning. They talking about what happened last night. And basically, they brought up the fact that Summer got up out of there, but they hurry up and brush past that. But then they started talking about how basically Dolly has apparently snatched a mic out of K-Rican's hand. So according to Russian Cream, she was like, girl, did you see last night how Dolly just literally rushed in and snatched the mic out of K-Rican's hand while they was playing her song? And I said, oh, wow. Now, if that ain't a bully, I don't know what is. Because what would possess her to do that? Especially at the club while the girl performing her song when Natalie already said we not doing all that, especially in no foreign country. That's why I said you can't take everybody everywhere. And even Elsie was like, girl, look, girl, if that was me, I would have forgot everything that happened and I'd have just went to windmilling. And I'm with her. And Tavi came in and she even confirmed that she saw it. So everybody saw that animal, elephant, whatever it was in the room. And everybody's like, wow, like this is crazy that Dolly just randomly did that to K-Rican. And it is crazy. And I don't care if it was liquor or not. She wrong for that. So now Fauna, K-Rican, and Skrilla, they sitting down talking about last night and what happened at the club. And they briefly mentioned, I want to say they briefly mentioned the Summer Saga. But immediately it came back to K-Rican that she felt played. So K-Rican was like, it didn't fall on me and on my ears and my heart that Dolly snatched that mic out my hand last night while I was performing, and that was messed up. She was like, now the old me or the regular me would have popped her. She was like, but I didn't pop her because Natalie had to talk with us, Scotty had to talk with us, Rolly, everybody talked to us and told us not to fight at the club. She also said that she really didn't want to fight at the club because she in a whole nother continent and her people ain't there to come get her and she ain't trying to go to jail in Africa, and she's right. And Final was like, yeah, that's messed up because basically, like last year, they're not following the rules, and they're not. They basically doing whatever it is they want to do. And Final think that it's messed up that they get to just roam around and do what they want to do. And girl, look at Skrilla. That girl look like Michael Phelps' little biracial cousin. Girl, where did you get that swim cap and why do you have it on? She said she ready for anything. But either way, Skrilla was agreeing with the rest of the girls that things aren't happening fair. And basically they playing by rules that nobody else is playing by. So now when it came to the fight with Big Lex, they were all confused because they was like, Big Lex was cool. She was chilling. But Fauna was basically like, listen, the reason I fought her was because the whole time you and Elsie was fighting, she was rooting for Elsie saying, beat that bitch, beat that bitch. But then when she decided to try to quote unquote break it up, she only grabbed you. She don't grab her girl. So that's why I jumped in. And I understand that from a fighter's perspective. Don't grab me and give the girl the upper hand to try to beat me up. And that's your home girl. You see what I'm saying? So that makes all the sense in the world why Fauna fought Lex. Now in comes Rolly. She comes in and sits down, but her knees decided to remain standing. Either way, she wants to check on the girls and see how everything is going, how everything was since last night. And Fonda brings up the fact that she don't too particularly appreciate Natalie shouting out all the girls except the new girls. And Rolly was like, yeah, I talked to Natalie about that, about getting to know y'all because y'all are baddies too. And also just making sure that we are all on the same playing field. She was like, but I guess I'll talk to her again. But Fonda feels some type of way because Fonda said, girl, we all outside. If you gonna name some, name them all. And she's absolutely right. So then Rolly asked them how they are with the elderly baddies. I'm gonna call them elder baddies. And everybody else was like, the other girls, they kind of cool or whatever. Scotty was the one telling us not to fight, and we didn't. When we get to the club, she was like, but then turn around, and Darlene snatched the mic out of my hand. She was like, nah, I should have popped her. And Rolly was like, yeah, knowing me, I would have popped her. I ain't give a damn, but we different. She was like, but nah, I see what you're saying. And it was like, you need to go talk to Natalie about that. She was like, yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation because Dolly was wrong for snatching that mic out your hand. She was. She absolutely was. Now back at the other room, LCK decides this is the opportune time for her to confront Tavi about shaking K. Rican's hand. She said K. Rican is the op. So why is you over there frolicking and shaking hands with the ops if you supposed to be my friend? Like, what's up? And this sent Tavi through the roof because Tavi was like, first of all, the girl dapped me up and was like, I was a stand-up girl for standing in for my friend, which is you. She was like, but second of all, I don't have to explain who I'm cool with. I fought for you. I helped fight for you. When they say you got jumped, I was there. And now that's how you want to handle me? But look at LCK. LCK got her wig in the confessional and say, baby, I don't care if it's flammable or no. At the end of the day, if you my friend, you supposed to ride for me. You get it? Not everybody else. You supposed to ride for me. So yeah, I feel some type of way. As she should, Well, then Tavi said she don't care how she feel because Tavi said she not explaining herself. And at the end of the day, Kay came and dapped her up. And she gonna dap up who she wanna dap up. And it is what it is. And who gonna do what about it? And I'm saying, Tavi, please. And Elsie, you don't need another enemy, girl. It ain't like you Bahati over here. You ain't popping it off like Bahati is over in Africa. I'm gonna need you to calm down. And then Russian Cream hopped in the confessional and made it all make sense. Basically, Russian Cream was like, listen, at the end of the day, this is pointless. How can LCK feel some type of way about Tavi being back cool with K. Rican when she over there cool with Diamond the Body and Diamond the Body had a whole fight with Tavi? Like, it's cool, girl. Like, it's not that deep. And that right there wraps it and sums it all up. LCK just need a reason to be mad, girl. Moving around. So anyway, Highlighter Body hopped in the confessional to tell us today is the day that the Lord has made for her and Natalie to make up. And I said, girl, God ain't got nothing to do with this union. So Natalie gets to the place. Her and Scotty's having a conversation. And Natalie was like, oh my God, Scotty, did you bring the vapes? And Scotty was like, yes, Natalie. And she was like, okay, pass me my vape. So what's going on? What do you want to talk about? Production, directors, get this. What's going on? And Scotty was like, Natalie, I thought that we started drifting apart and I'm trying to figure out why. Natalie is over there insisting that Scotty has changed, but Scotty says she's not changing. She adapting to her environment. She said, because at first I used to let people play with me. Now I'm holding people accountable and I'm not letting them play with me and it's becoming an issue. But see, Natalie don't see it like that. See, back in the day when Natalie had Scotty under her thumb, she could scissor and control her all at the same damn time. But now that Scotty has hopped off the scissor train and on to the peanut butter express, you get it? She don't need no more scissors, no Natalie. And this is where the breakup is in the relationship. Now, Natalie could get on here and say what she want. Oh, but Scotty, you were calling me a biatch and you put the chain on the dog. Don't nobody care about none of that. Natalie don't care about none of that. Natalie has lost her pets. Plain and day simple. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's the problem that they have. And Natalie won't ever see it like that because she's the one, the quote unquote CEO who feel like she lost her friend because her friend switched up. Both of y'all actually switched up. It's just that one of y'all switched up for the better and the other one switched up for the good. You decide who did the better and who did the good. Does it make sense? So Natalie was over there telling Scotty that it was more than just the whole situation with the chain. It's a whole slew of things. She said we could start with the dog. She said, I done told you about bringing this dog on set, and you continue to bring this dog on set. Now, this has completely upset Scotty, because Scotty feels like, girl, I've been having this dog for seasons. This is actually her emotional support dog. And she feel like, why is everybody worried about her dog? She said she didn't bring the dog to Africa and she already going through it. But at the end of the day, that's her dog and she need her dog. Everybody else got their stuff. She just want her dog. But Natalie don't care about none of that. Natalie don't care about dogs, animals, cats, humans, birds. It don't matter. Look at her. Do she look like she care about a dog? Hell no. Natalie's sitting over there like, I don't care. Can your dog pass me my vape? Good, then I don't care. So now this put my girl Scotty in shambles. She get to hollering and crying and all of that. She said because it's wrong that she had to leave and be without her dog and it's messing with her and she don't be messing with nobody. But either way, she still left the dog to appease everybody and there's always something. She just want her friend back and they can't find common ground because she was never your friend. But Natalie plays it off and act like they was friends and give her a hug, but they not really friends. Even Scotty hopped in the confessional was like, girl, we gonna see how this go. Y'all are not friends. You are no longer her lap dog. Now you're Zeus Diddy's, and it's a problem. Now you need to either pick a side. Do you want the cooch or the mooch? You get it? Let's move on. So now it's time for brunch, and originally it's just Ivory and Pretty P, and they kind of just sitting down chilling, talking about the events that led up to where they are now, and they actually really just happy to get some food because, you know, it's hard to come by a piece of food down at the Zeus Network. Then in comes Fana, Rolly Big Fat Funky Nasty Cheesy Greasy Dirty. And I want to say that was Skrilla. But they come in, they all ready for brunch. Everybody ready to eat. Rolly says she's starving, which is an understatement. And here we go. So now Rolly asked the girls how everything was and what they got to say if they want to add out. Now is the time. So when Rolly asked the girls that prompted Skrilla in them to bring up the fact that Dolly had snatched K. Rican's microphone at the club last night at the performance. And Rolly was like, yeah, so I heard about that. And everybody said they saw it. And everybody was like, Lord have mercy, what was that about? But they did commend K. Rican for not reacting in a negative way because that could have been bad. Now, Skrilla is keeping her head on a swivel because she kind of sitting where her back is turned toward where the girls are coming from. So every time somebody come in, Skrilla looking up to see who all that is. But this time it was a close call because it wasn't nobody but Tavi and Russian Cream. So everybody, like I said, is coming down to breakfast or brunch for that matter. And Rolly is excited, telling all the girls not to spill any food and there will not be any fighting at this meeting. Now, Diamond the Body come downstairs looking really, really cute. I love that yellow, green, whatever color that is on her and her hair. She the only one dressed. Now, all the other girls is out here dressed like they just rolled out the bed and came got something to eat. Diamond the Body is like me on vacation, girl. I am dressed to the nines like I'm going to the club. 9 a.m. What's up? Breakfast. And Diamond the Body got in a confessional and was like, listen, she was like, you know, I normally don't come in and interact with all of this, but I decided to put a little something on and come up and say hey to the girls, have brunch, and, you know, kind of chill out and get to know the girls. I thought that was nice. So now in comes Dolly and Big Lex, and remind you they are -1, which is Summer, who is out for the count right now because basically she had whatever altercation with whatever security guard. Take that information, AD, and do with it as you please, allegedly. You see what I'm saying? So they get in there, all the girls are looking. Lex is so excited. She says, see, this is what it's supposed to be. I love that there's food all over. It's a nice spread. This is how vacation should be. Lex is enjoying it. Lex is not even tripping on the fact that her and Fana had a fight last night. She's just trying to get something to eat. So then Rolly, old messy tail self, brought up the fact that last night and how Dolly was lit. She was like, ooh, girl, Dolly was so lit last night. And Dolly was in the corner like, yeah, I was lit. Even Tavi was over there like, yeah, Dolly was extra lit. Now, my thing is, why would y'all even bring that up knowing that K. Rican feels some type of way about the girl snatching the mic out of her hand? Like, this is kind of like inching, if you ask me. And Rolly, you should know better. Great ain't tea. You should know better, but you did this on purpose because you wanted them girls to fight. See, that's what it is. That's what Natalie was trying to show him. Y'all want to be Natalie? Y'all want to take my spot? Good. Let Natalie go chill, and now y'all over there orchestrating the fights. Girl, you can't make this up. You literally can't. So anyway, Dolly was like, yeah, man, it was lit last night. I was lit last night. We had a good time. Rolly originally brought up the time that Dolly fell off the table in the club. And Dolly was like, I only fell because somebody else tried to get on the table with me. Now, when she said that, it activated the girl Skrilla. So Skrilla turned around and Skrilla said something, I don't know, because it sounded like Dolly was saying like, girl, this happened in a season where you weren't here. But either way, Skrilla responded to Dolly falling off the doggone thing. Dolly over here saying she don't care about none of that. And it seems originally that Rolly was trying to change the subject. So she brings up the fact that Summer was lit last night and everybody was like, yeah, she was lit. But yet and still, nobody's saying where she was. Literally nobody's saying where she was, and that's crazy to me. Tavi jumps in and talking about how everybody was lit last night. And then Rolly dropped it and was like, hey, Dolly, I heard you took the microphone from K. Rican last night. Now, Dolly don't like that question. Dolly don't even like that they even confront her about it because she on her Debo, you know what. You feel what I'm saying? So Dolly hopped in the confessional, was like, why is they questioning me about something I did? I did what I did. I said what I said. And ain't nobody doing nothing. They over here asking questions when they should be doing something. And I say, okay, Debo, slow down now. So anyway, back at the table, K. Rican and Fauna bring up the fact that she snatched the mic out of K. Rican's hand, and Dolly can't believe that they even talking to her. Like Dolly said, do something about it. If you're not going to do something about it, don't ask me about it. I don't want to talk about it. Now, y'all already know this was about to cause a big argument and a rift between the girls, and sure as I got a nose on my face, it did, because now K. Rican and Dolly is back and forth going and getting into it and whatever the case, and Dolly feels like, girl, you doing all that talking, but you ain't doing nothing about it. I took your mic. What's up? Now, K. Rican was basically trying to tell the rest of the girls that she was following the rules, but it seems like the other girls aren't. Skrilla getting her little 1-2 in. Dolly going back and forth with both of them because Dolly basically telling both of them to get up and do something about it. But it seems like nobody's making no moves. Rolly's so busy trying to protect the pancakes and buttermilk biscuits that she over there trying to plead with the girls to please don't fight. If anytime, not now. We got food. We might not eat for the next 6 months. And I know I got enough fat to hold me over, but y'all ain't gonna make it. Please don't fight over the brunch. So Dolly jumped up and was like, man, all that tongue wrestling and all that stuff, yeah, that's cool, but what you gonna do? I took your mic. I got it. I took it and I walked away with it. You was on there rapping and I ain't like what I heard, so I took it anyway. What's up? What you want to do? And I said, Dolly, like, where did this come from? But you know what? This is who you really are. So go on, go on. So then now this causes obviously these girls to get up and get ready to start fighting. Hell, Pretty P said, I ain't eating nothing. LCK said, I came in and I already knew not to eat nothing. Beautiful table, beautiful fruit. But I refused to eat because I already knew that these heifers were going to have a fight. Basically, all the girls knew that with all this food on the table, it's bound to be fisticuffs thrown in the air. So now Dolly and the girl going back and forth. Dolly keeps saying she don't want to hear, but the girl K. Rican is going back and forth. Now I'm over here saying we need a lifeline because I'm tired of all this yapping and yapping and hens are cackling. I'm tired of this. I don't like too many females. And K. Rican, I understand that you did what you did last night because you was following the rules. But today, my love, is a new day. When Dolly walked through that door and went over there to go get a plate, you should have been ran up behind her and snuck her and knocked her down to the sausages and biscuits. Do you hear me? That's your fault. You got to take your L on that. What you talking for? Like, it don't make sense. But I understand the frustration. And all this does is make Dolly feel like she's such a big dog, big this, big that. Because now she over there in the corner, puffing out her chest. And she really don't realize she look a mess. I mean, she look good because I love that gold on her. But she look a mess in theory because, girl, you basically going around the house trying to have an issue with people that don't have one with you. For real, for real. And thank God Scotty walked in and broke up the whole craziness of it all. I'm thinking Scotty gonna come in and help the situation. I said, ooh, Scotty, I ain't never been so happy to see your high yellow ass. Come on in, Scotty, sit down. So as soon as Scotty sits down, Kay Rican is still trying to prove her point that she was following the rules in front of girls who don't follow rules. So she asked Scotty, she was like, Scotty, is it true that yesterday you were telling us not to fight in the club and whoop? And Scotty was like, yeah. And she was like, weren't you telling us about the sisterhood and how we need to make sure we mindful of that when we in the streets because we in Africa, a foreign country, and I don't want to go to jail. And Dolly's sitting over there looking like, yeah, whatever. So Scotty's agreeing to everything that basically Kay Rican is saying. And Kay Rican is over there saying that now she's getting called the PUSSY. And now Dolly is over there feeling some type of way because basically she didn't fight back when Dolly stole her mic. And I'm over here saying now you can fight. Like, it's easy. And I don't think that was moving fast enough for Dolly. So Dolly just decided to pick up a ham or something. I don't know where they was at in Brazil. Girl, they probably over there eating rice and peas for breakfast. Who knows? She picked up a plate of rice and peas, girl, to try to hawk it over there at the other girls. And this creates this huge food fight. Rolly over there screaming for dear life. But her survival skills kicked in and she was able to get away with a pancake, a biscuit, 3 slices of bacon, and 2 little slices of ham. You see what I'm saying? But either way, it was a disaster. Poor Rolly, she ain't ate. No wonder she losing weight. She ain't getting no food where she at. And when they finally feed y'all, this is what y'all do. Lex and Dolly, y'all are bullies. Lex and Dolly and Summer too, y'all are bullies. And it's just that on that. It doesn't look good on you guys. It actually looks really bad. Really bad. But it is what it is. They say the fame and the money bring out the true colors, huh? At least that's what they say. But neither here nor there. That was the end of the episode. What do you guys think? Drop down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on all platforms, and I catch y'all who's on the next one, girl. Bye.
Mr. Carroll, how you give the voodoo dog time to talk? I don't get no fucking time to talk.
Who the voodoo doll is?
The nigga you just had up here.